Hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, welcome to today's stream, welcome. And welcome back to heisei, babtro. This is the 11th episode of heisei, babtro. I'm so happy that we've been able to continue this podcast for up to 11 episodes now. I'm gonna keep saying that every time we have a new episode. Oh my gosh, it's the 12th episode. Oh my god, it's the 15th episode. It's always exciting. It's always gonna be exciting. But yeah, welcome back to heisei, babtro, my podcast where we yap about our favorite media from Japan's heisei era. The heisei era spanned from 1989 to 2019, which is a super wide range of time. But in regards to pop culture, can be characterized by rapid technological advancements, the rising popularity of anime and Japanese video games both in Japan and overseas, and what many consider to be the golden age of places like Akihabara and Harajuku. But today, I am once more going to be joined by Sulfuro Samsara to yap all about Gen 1 Pokemon. And possibly other gens too, because it's hard to just limit yourself when yapping about Pokemon. But yeah, let me go ahead and undeafen. Hello. Are you ready? Hi.
I am.
Let's go.
I'm not quite on stream yet. I noticed. There we go.
Here you go.
Delay. Anyway, hi. I'm back again to yap more about yap autistically more.
Let's go.
This time it's something that I very, very deeply enjoy in gaming and specifically Pokemon. I will to keep the positive going. I'm not going to talk about what I dislike about the current state of Pokemon, because
probably for the best. Well. That could get into lots of ranting, and we are here to yap about the good old days.
Yes, the more happy stuff. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about. I know that Babs said it was about Gen 1 Pokemon, but as I was mistaken about the range of the years of the Heisei era, I will likely be talking about Gens 1 through 5. And how, because I started with Gen 5. No, I didn't start with Gen 5. I started with Gen 1, all the way back, Pokemon Red. Not Pokemon Fire Red, because that's technically Gen 3.
Yeah, I actually played Fire Red first, technically.
But my favorite by and large is Gen 5. It's my absolute favorite gen. Anyway, I did also want to talk about a lot of the origins of Pokemon, where it came from in terms of like the roots of it. So not just stuff like which stuff you may not know. For example, how the reason why PETA's got it all wrong is because this is something that I believe Junichi Masuda and his friends would literally do IRL. They would go catch bugs out in the forest and have them fight each other.
And I will say,
common thing for kids to do.
I will say it also feels very Japanese, because as someone who's been to Japan, the bugs there are huge and terrifying. So like,
oh yeah, no,
the bugs are really scary in Japan.
Oh yeah, no. So one of the major, I believe they have, so one of the things they have in Japan, there's I believe a Japanese beetle. They have a few beetles.
Yeah.
Japanese beetles are rather large.
Yeah.
They are a type of scarab. And they have natural predators, and they are not considered a pest in its native Japan. So, but if they get out, then yeah.
But I swear to God, every bug
such a variety.
is huge.
They can get such a variety of shapes. They've got so many types of types of bugs over there.
Yeah.
Some of them are rather massive. I believe the Hercules beetle might be native to there. No, it's not. That's US.
No,
I'm thinking of something else. I know they have a. I know they actually have, I believe, a type of beetle that's named after sumo wrestlers. Because that's essentially one of the. By the way, that's one of the initial ideas they had for Pokemon was because whenever they would consider a win for this for their combats when a beetle was sufficiently flipped onto its back. That's when they would consider it a win.
Oh yeah.
So it's an awful lot like sumo.
I love that.
It's something, by the way, these bugs do themselves, and it will not actually. It's called insect fighting or beetle fighting. They will. Oh yeah, that's what it was. The Japanese rhinoceros beetle. Those are the big boys.
Yeah.
That have the big horn, and that, in fact, the Japanese rhinoceros beetle is what Heracross is based off.
Yeah, I love Heracross.
And it's why it's fighting bug, because it was one of the ones that they would choose. So they also have Goliath. They also have over there a Goliathus, which is a Goliath beetle. That's another big boy. But yeah, they have a lot of big bugs over there. And what the creator, what Satoshi Tajiri and his friends would do when they were kids were go out into the forest, catch a bunch of bugs, put them in little terrariums, treat them nice, of course. They did treat them nice. A lot of animism did make them treat the animals they kept captive very nicely. Animism being everything is gods.
Yeah.
Shinto is an animist religion. What they would do is they would treat them nice, and eventually, occasionally, they bring them out into a small circle and just have them fight each other. And once the first one flipped over on the back, would win. And that's kind of the inspiration that started Pokemon, the creature collection thing, where you go out into various things, catch a bunch of Pokemon, and have them fight. They went through a few things until they kind of settled on the style of a more generic RPG system where you have statuses, HP bars, and stuff like that. But the way the thing that gave it the spice is that your party of 6 Pokemon could be anything you could find. The way that they got people they made it a community thing is that they split up the set of 150 Pokemon, because that was the original plan, was only 150. Once they split that up, they would split up the set that into 2 sets. There would be some shared between versions, but there would be some exclusive to red, some exclusive to blue. And the funny thing is, the reason why Mew exists is because, by pure chance, the mythical Mew exists because there was, after they removed the developer tools, there was just enough space to fit 1 more Pokemon and 1 more Dex entry. And that's how Mew started.
Oh, I love that.
And that was the lightning in the bottle that allowed Pokemon to explode, because then it started playground rumors. And people were talking about it constantly. They had to do basically nothing to advertise it. And the thing is, it gets people talking more and more today. I will say, Gen 1 is not without its problems. Everybody knows the problem with the special set. Everyone knows the problem with missing no and M apostrophe and all that, the various missing no's. Everyone knows the problem with the psychic type. There are plenty of other problems. Did you know that if you KO'd a Pokemon with Hyper Beam in Gen 1 specifically, you did not have to recharge? Toxic and Leech Seed stacked. Yeah. Toxic and Leech Seed stacked with each other, as in, like, Toxic would do 1/16, then Leech Seed would do 1/8. Next turn, Toxic would do 1/4, Leech Seed would do 1/2. So yeah, it's not by any means, this was not a perfect game by any means, but the way they handled it is something I feel they've lost over time, which is they knew how to smooth over the cracks in a way that people didn't, even if they noticed, they didn't care. As for the future gens, the one I latched onto the most of was Gen 5, which I feel was their boldest generation choice ever, mainly because that was the most adult story they told. It was very clearly meant for somewhere around mid to late teens, so like 16, 17, around there. it talks about some seriously heavy topics, things like child abuse and stuff like that. End's Room is very clearly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you hear the broken music box theme and you see that room, and it's like, no, there's bad things happened here. But yeah, that's my favorite. It also houses my favorite Pokemon in the game, Volcarona. So
Really?
yeah, I am actually more of a fan of bug types than you may think.
That's cool. No, I
My
think bug
favorite
types
Mega,
are pretty
even though I do not like-
underrated.
My favorite Mega, even though I do not enjoy the gimmick terribly much, is Mega Beedrill.
Oh, I like Mega Beedrill too. I have one on my team currently. I have a shiny Mega Beedrill on my ZA team, and I love it. Its name is Peedrill. P spelled P-E-A.
Yeah, because he's green. He's green.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beedrill. Yeah, but yeah, like the way. But I do not like Megas as a concept because it's very much a popularity contest. Same with Z-moves and stuff like that. But that's also stuff that's outside of the Heisei era because we're talking more about that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I do just, but yeah, the whole thing is right. The whole thing is like, Pokemon as a whole is just something that has been part of my formative years, and the current situation, what I feel like in the current generation is the current stuff of going on with Pokemon. I feel like a jilted ex. It's really strange feeling, and I dislike it. I feel like the person the thing that I loved has changed in ways that I could not control, and I do not like. Mostly I've been able to roll with the punches. I was able to roll with Mega Evos even though I didn't terribly like them. I was able to roll with Z moves even though I didn't terribly like them. I like them a little bit more than Megas though, because less of a popularity contest. I feel that they did their best with the regional gimmick when it came to terrestrialization, but again, we're moving out of the Heisei era here.
Yeah.
Gen 5's regional gimmick, which I believe that's when they started doing that shit, was actually something that has not appeared since. Two types of battle modes. Rotation battle modes and triple battle modes.
Oh, I forgot about those triple battles.
In fact, Ally Switch was made for triple battles, not double. Because when you're in a triple battle, only the center Pokemon can attack all three other Pokemon. If you're in the either side slot, you can only attack the one in front of you and the one to the side of you. You can't attack the one farthest. So Ally Switch was made not only as a way to evade an attack or just change the target of an attack in a different way, but it was also made to position another Pokemon so that next turn they could attack whatever they wanted or what you wanted them to. Rotation was also very interesting, where it was like, okay, you get a rotate. It's like a free switch and attack on the same turn. It's a weird like concept for U-turn. But even if U-turn was already in Gen 5, I believe it was introduced in Gen 5 even. But yeah, it was also, I believe, the last gen that Pursuit was in, I believe too. So that was the last gen for Pursuit, because the X and Y removed Pursuit, if I recall correctly.
Really?
I'm very much into the competitive side of things. I have a Pokemon Showdown account.
I wish I understood competitive Pokemon better. I like the idea of it, but I get very confused.
It is a case of combining chess with rock, paper, scissors, lizard,
yeah, basically.
You have to keep in mind the matchups of your moves and the matchups of everyone in the back row, because they can switch whenever they want, unless you've got some sort of either mean look or block attached to them. Some way of preventing them from switching out. Shadow tag can work too for that. But yeah, you've got this you've got a lot of things to think about. And even then, that might not even be the case, because they might have Shed Shell, so they can still swap. For example, Skarmory often runs Shed Shell because of Magnet Pull, which is another trapping move. Trapping ability, sorry. But yeah, I was most fond of Gen 5 because I feel like that's where they hit their stride when it came to plot and when it came to Pokemon design.
Oh yeah, I feel like the plots in more of the recent games have been kind of meh. There's elements that I like, but I don't think the stories, especially because they're evil teams. Pokemon hasn't had a real evil team in ages.
I think Gen 5 was the real last one that they did
Yeah,
that was really
I
evil.
think so.
Sun and Moon was an interesting bait and switch with its evil team. It was not Team Skull that was the evil team. It was in fact one of the ones that the evil team was the one that was helping you out the entire time. The Ether Foundation.
Hmm.
So that was a clever one. I did like how Sun and Moon handled it, but when Gen 5's evil team was also really, really good at like hiding its villainy.
Yeah.
So it was really good at hiding its villainy. Because the first time we see Team Plasma, it's actually N talking about like, okay, we're talking about like N is talking about like N is talking about, oh hey, yeah, N talks about stuff like sorry, I'm getting a lot lost in my words, but yeah, N talks like saying like, oh, we take Pokemon from their from their habitats, and we force them to fight each other, and uses a lot of this rhetoric that's like, it makes you question like, wait, we are kind of doing that, aren't we? Are we really considering them? But as you go through the game, N starts to realize, hey, as long as you treat your Pokemon right, they generally see the first initial catch as like, all right, stick around with you for a bit, we'll see how we pan out. And as you treat them better and better, they see you as less of a master and more of a partner. And it's a team effort, not a Angie effort. Not like a sort of like, yeah. It's curious. It's a very interesting, because also a lot around this time, PETA was yelling really, really angrily at Pokemon even. And this almost feels like a sort of like jab at them. Yeah, jab at them. And in fact, this jab at them, they didn't realize they were being jabbed at, so they fucking made Pokemon Black and Blue. I'm not even kidding.
My god,
they made that in response to Pokemon
yeah, they did.
Black and White. And it's
such a ridiculous concept to me. They went that far to make their own fake game.
They do not understand, and also I believe they got sued into the fucking dirt for it.
I hope so.
Yeah, they did. No, PETA's like a cockroach. Even if it just never dies. They'll always be causing problems. You just have to treat them like the irrelevant thing they are.
The last thing I remember hearing about PETA, they did something with Uma Musume. I was like, could you not?
And then they got fucking really blown up again by the Uma Musume fandom. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Oh, they got blown up by the fandom.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny. Anyway, so the whole thing of that is that long story short, I really do feel like they've started, because I feel they're afraid of Gen 5 actually, the Nintendo Pokemon, Nintendo TPC Game Freak, because that was the boldest they got, and that was a big landmark hit, but they're afraid of that like they can't do it again, or the soccer moms will get on them or something. Like, oh, that's not a kid discussion, even though a lot of the times like that was not a game marketed towards kids. It was marketed towards teenagers, because they realized during Gen 5 that their fan base, their original fan base, the Gen 1 fan base, was aging up.
Yeah,
they were starting to get into the point where they were, because remember, Pokemon originally was marketed towards the same age Ash was when he started on his journey in the first season of Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
around age 10. But by the time Gen 5 came out, they were like in their 16, 17 era, because canonically the protagonists of Gen 5, Black and White, Black 2, White 2, they are both canonically 16.
Yeah,
they're not 10,
yeah, I remember that. Like, they even look older than most other Pokemon protagonists.
They even look older, and in fact, Black 2, White 2, I believe they're 17. It's been a year. You even see the effects.
Yeah.
You even see the effects of like the world changing and the seasons changing. Even you start seeing and like the environment changing. You see you can see like when it's winter in Black and White. in your starter town, there's no snow patching the ground. But in Black 2 White 2, the environments changed just a little after the events of the first game, and as a result, you can see snow patching the ground. It's gotten colder enough so that snow can stick around during the winter times. Because it does play around with seasons. But that's also another thing, is also that game really plays around with like environmental destruction as well, on intentional environmental destruction for terroristic purposes, because Kira.
Yeah, and I think Pokemon in general did that a lot. A lot of the early games too had to do with the environment.
A lot of Japanese games play with the concept of the environment is sacred and hurting it is bad. Hurting it will fall back on you, because that's another thing that that is a part of a lot of animist beliefs, is that hurting the environment will hurt you in return.
Yeah.
It's also why it's also a lot of religions kind of start out that way, because it's a lot of religions actually generally start out as nature beliefs, explaining what they can't explain. This divinity must have done it. So, but yeah, trying to convert back. I am talking more about like Gen 5 and Gen 1 too, because I will say that one of my formative experiences though while playing Pokemon was clowning on Morty with a ferret. His Gengar in Gen 2 original, not the remakes, in Gen 2 original, his Gengar does not have a single move that can hit normal types. It's all ghost type moves.
Oh.
So if you have a ferret with Shadow Claw, or some other ghost type move, or some move that can hit ghost types, or Ghost Poison even, because it's Ghost Poison, that's Gengar, can't do much. It can't do anything at all, really, and Morty's Gengar can be taken out by a Route 1 Pokemon.
That's awesome.
Or first Route Pokemon. It's not Route 1 in Johto, because Johto is mixed with Sinnoh, and as such, they're named higher numbers. But yeah, I always loved that bit. That was amazing, that like, because you don't often see like Route 1 Pokemon getting much of a shine in like later games, because Ecruteak is like way later. It's like way past there. It's like nearly like, I think it's like Ecruteak Gym is like, I don't know, like sixth or fifth gym. It's really late. And Furret can like clown on Morty. To be fair, any pure normal type can, or any normal type can, but yeah. It's really funny. It's really nice. I believe even Girafarig can do some real damage to it, because Girafarig is in Gen 2, and Girafarig is normal psychic. But yeah, Gen 3 was also one of the ones I really loved. I had Fire Red and I also had Emerald.
Yeah, Fire Red was my first, actually. Technically,
sorry.
It was around the same time that we got Diamond and Pearl, but I got to play Fire Red first, and I loved that.
I actually specifically remember the instance where I got to play Leaf Green for the first time. We were getting ready for a road trip. We were going to drive a long ways to my grandma's house up in Connecticut, and we were in Manassas at the time. So we were getting in the car, climbing the car. I had my Game Boy Advance SP, and my dad's I think it was my mom, reached over, leaned over back from the passenger front seat and said, "Hey, here's something for you." And she passed me over a Game Boy Advance cartridge box, which I immediately recognized. Like, I opened it, I looked at it, the smile that crossed my face.
Oh my gosh.
Would have blinded the sun. I was ecstatic. I immediately tore open the box. There was nothing left but paper shreds. Opened that thing up, slammed it in my SP, and I was silent for the entire car ride.
Oh my gosh. Pokemon games are like the best for road trips. It's just such a vibe of being a kid in a long car ride with a Pokemon game.
We even had like a car charger jack for
heck yeah.
a car charger SP. You know those old the car with the big plug for the car charger. We had one specifically for my Game Boy Advance.
Oh, that's
Game
awesome.
Boy SP. And that thing was used the entire car ride, and I was silent and happy, and I was smiling ear to ear, and it was great. My sibling also had a copy so that we wouldn't fight over it. And she also had her own system, and so yeah. And it was the most silent long car ride we ever had. It was glorious. And I think we both had, I chose, I chose leaf green. My sibling chose fire red.
Mm.
And after that, I got my hands on emerald at some point because I wanted to try the actual Gen 3 experience instead of the Gen 1 over again. And I had so much joy playing those games, and that was a formative experience. It's why I have such a soft spot for Gen 3, and a lot of the Gen 3 mods I do like. But Gen 5 is still my favorite. Gen 5 also came to me at a crucial time when I was still trying to process a lot of the process a decent amount of trauma that I was having when it came to schooling abuse specifically, because I was not doing well. I early on, like in my childhood, like back when I was like 8, 10 or so, I had a lot of trouble running from class, and I would be restrained a lot. And in one of my schooling things, they would restrain me improperly. And my mom walked in on that, and oh boy, let's just say the room turned to ice in all but physicality.
Oh man.
Yeah, my mom was a big mama bear, and I do very much. Was like the ultimate mama bear. I was very, very lucky to have her, but as my mom. But yeah, regardless, that actually helped me process a lot of the like the plot of Gen 5 Pokemon actually helped me process some of that. Like, okay, what happened to me doesn't mean that I have to be terrible as a result or do those things as well. And it's still kind of helping me nowadays too, while I'm dealing with like my own, like still trying to process everything about my own childhood. 31 and I'm still unpacking that shit. But yeah, to more positive notes, the Pokemon has been a crucial part of a lot of my childhood, from back when I was like, when I first got it at around like 10 or 11 on the original Game Boy Advance. Sorry, not Game Boy Advance. Original Red on Game Boy. Moving up through gens, and Game Boy Color, and I got and then I got Pokemon, I believe it was Gold on Game Boy Color. Then I moved on to then I got to Gen 3, which was Emerald. I specifically got Emerald. I did not get Ruby or Sapphire. I got, then when I moved on to Gen 4, I got, I believe it was Diamond, and then Platinum. I have mixed feelings on Gen 4. I will say,
I know a lot of people do.
I will say they did a really, really, really good job with the mythicals on there. Like, Manaphy was not so well. It was not so good. It was made to just advertise the Pokemon Ranger series. Which it did do a good job for it. I actually tried out Guardian Signs because of Manaphy.
I love Guardian Signs. That's an amazing game. Oh my god.
Yeah. However, I will say, like, the way they handle Arceus, which a lot of people are complaining about. Oh, we didn't get to have the Azure Flute and stuff like that and do that manually. That, I think, was a lucky stroke, because that added to even more of the mystery, and people would literally just hack the game to add it so they could see the Hall of Origin and see all that stuff, because the data was in the game. There was an event planned, but they never did it.
Oh.
And they just handed out an Arceus instead. And the thing is, if you have that event Arceus, sorry, it's Arceus actually. It's Arceus, because we learned that I actually learned how it's pronounced actually from Sun and Moon actually. Silvalley's whole thing of being a budget Arceus is because of its ability, RKS system.
Oh yeah, Arceus, yeah. When I finally
clicked with that, it's like, you guys are smart. Holy crap! I slammed the desk like, damn it! Why didn't I think of that before? It took me until the entire end of the game for me to realize, like into the post game for me to realize after I got it. It's like, after I got it, I had it for like a few hours, and like, after I had it for the rest of the game and finished the post game. So wait, RKS system, RKS system, RKS. Fuck. But yeah. Anyway, if you have that event RKS in it, and you bring it in from the Hall of Origin, and you bring it into Heart Gold Soul Silver, and bring it to the Cave of Al, and you bring it bring that one specifically into the Ruins of Alph, where you find the unknown, and that's a gnome puzzle and all that. You can get a level 1 version of any of the other Sinnoh gods. So Giratina, Palkia, or Dialga. It's only the one you catch in the Hall of Origin, not the one that was handed out, the one that was given in the Hall of Origin. It needs to have a caught in Hall of Origin, not a faithful encounter, Hall of Origin. It checks for that data.
Oh wow.
So to keep on including that, because they knew people would hack it in. They knew they couldn't stop it. Action replay was way too strong.
Oh my god, action replay! That's
yup, I had an
throwback.
action replay.
Oh my god, no. For
Game Shark
context.
had fallen off by then.
Yeah,
Game Shark could have fallen off by then.
Yeah, no, we had an action replay. Like, our dad got it for me and my siblings, along with the copies of Diamond and Pearl. So,
Did you mess around with things like Oak's Parcel and stuff like that? Oh, sorry, no, Oak's Letter. Stuff like that, getting the
it was so
stuff.
long ago, like, and to be honest, I think our dad, at the time, because we were all quite young, he was using it more than we were, so we would just, like, wake up the next day, it's like, oh, look at all these level 100 Pokemon we have all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, no,
I
wouldn't do that. I would just treat in the things that I couldn't get access to, whether I couldn't go out and get the events myself or just I missed them. So I'd get like or you just couldn't get it. Like I got put in the Azure Flute and stuff like that. And for Black and White and Black 2 White 2, what I did for that was that I got the things like for the event for like Genesect and Victini and stuff like that. By the way, another thing of note, Victini is the only Pokemon in the entirety of all the regional dexes to ever have the 000 dex number.
Oh.
As it is so the Victini is the Pokemon of victory, which is why it has the V-shaped ears, it's always doing the V pose, it's got the wings, it's based off of the goddess Nike, the goddess of victory in Greek mythology. For those of you who are Shift Up fans, yes, I see you. Goddess of Victory Nike is a very popular gacha.
It really is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of gachas I've we're getting a little off topic here, but I do want to say this. A lot of gachas are very much like come for the sex appeal, stay for the trauma bonding. But yeah, anyway, regardless. Genesect was also another one that I was very fond of. It's the only bug type mythical. It's the only bug type in any sort of like position of like lore importance. It was a fossil Pokemon that was modified by Team Plasma to kind of showcase that they are literally like not what they say they are, a lot like how PETA is. Where they will do as much abuse as they say they prevent. And this was modified to be a weapons platform, essentially. And Genesect is like one of my favorite bug type Pokemon as well, because of like it's actually another potent bug type, but it's also really cool. It's also like this like lore important thing where it was captured and taken by it was not Kabutops. It was an unknown fossil Pokemon. It looks like Kabutops. It is not Kabutops. It is probably an adjacent species or a similar species. We do not know if it was Kabutops or not. It was never announced. It was never officially stated. It was never anything like that. It also has the wrong head shape and the wrong body shape. It looks similar, but is not quite. It has, but also like you got Volcarona via two ways. You would meet someone along the roads in one of the routes who would give you an egg for a certain Pokemon, and that Pokemon would be, was a Larvesta, which had, by the way, has one of the latest evolution levels of any Pokemon, not to mention bug types. It evolves at level 56. No, 59, sorry, 59. Almost level 60. And then evolves into Larvesta. It is Volcarona. Volcarona is a sun moth, an Atlas moth that is made to look like the sun. In fact, the other way you get Volcarona is shown via almost like it got to the point where people thought it was a legendary in and of itself, because the way you encounter it is, I believe, off this offshoot of like, it's like a, I want to say it's like the PW something. It's like a Pokemon World, a PWT area. It's an offshoot area where there's a cave, and you walk into it, and there's this like, it's a temple of some sort. Once you catch the Volcarona in there, you can check the back of the wall, and it depicts a mural of a volcanic eruption blocking out the sun, and Volcarona taking its place for the interim, while the sun was blocked out. And the amount of environmental storytelling in Black and White and Black 2, White 2 is just peerless. It is so good.
I really need to actually go through and play those games sometime, because I played a little bit of Black. Or no, I think I played White when I was younger, but I was still in my edgy like Gen 4 phase where I'm like, I don't like all these new Pokemon. Yeah. How dare they?
But yeah, no, I would recommend taking a run through of like either Black or White, and then going through the same version on the second one, because they actually flip the legendaries when you do that.
Yeah.
So when you play on White, you get Reshiram. When you play on White 2, you get Zekrom. I made that mistake thinking like, oh, if I switch over to like, I made the mistake of like, oh, I'm gonna play Black, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna try out another legendary by switching up by playing White 2 instead. I'm now stuck with Zekrom again. But yeah, I do actually kind of prefer Zekrom anyway.
Yeah, Zekrom is cool.
Also, the concept of the DNA splicers is so interesting, where it's like, oh, this dragon used to be, these three legendaries used to be one, but disagreements between the brothers that it was paired with had it split into yin and yang, truth and ideals, and such like that, but there was a shell left over. Wuji, which is a lack of both yin and yang, which is in Taoism considered bad. And Wuji is an emptiness, a void that desires to be filled, which is what Kyurem represents, which is why it's ice type. It's cold, it's black, like the emptiness of space. And it wants to fill that with either truth or ideals, which the DNA splicers allows it to. And like the concept of like fusing these together was actually already something explored in the Pokemon manga. So you know the bird trinity in what? Zapdos, Moltres, there was actually a Team Rocket plot in the manga that was to fuse them together.
Really? The Pokemon manga is kind of wild. Every time I hear something new about it, I'm like, what?
The Pokemon manga took a lot of fucking hard left turns.
Yeah.
For example, Giovanni was not above killing Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I knew about that. I knew that it gets dark.
For example, the Pokemon Adventures manga, Red faints a bunch of Magmar, and Giovanni's like, that little whelp. He should know. Magmar don't give up until they're a group of Magmar will never give up until they have fought. This kid will be hunted down by these. So he orders his Dugong to use sheer cold on the already fainted Magmar, and then he says, "Finish it," and then shatters them. You just see in the corner of the screen where you see that glare, that like shattered glare of Giovanni. You see an arm of a Magmar frozen, missing the rest of the Magmar.
Yeah, that's crazy. They were able to pull that off in the manga. That's so much darker than the games.
The manga, they were allowed to get away with a lot more in the manga, because it was not as widely seen by kids, and it was never seen overseas. You had to get translations online. But yeah, the world of Pokemon can get dark, and I think the darkest they got in a mainline was Black and White, because it was not ever shown on screen, but you could see it that N was very much physically abused and coached to being what he is in a very not gentle way by Get
Yeah.
I literally there are so few games that have made me want to leap through the screen and fucking strangle the person, and that was one of them. That and Black and White, Black 2 White 2 was the Black and White and Black 2 White 2 was the first to make me want to do that. And the funny thing is, Getsis has many similarities with a certain failed Austrian painter as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's very evident, very evident that they wanted to kind of talk about what the fuck went on with World War II and all that, and because keep in mind, Japan has a lot of guilt about that too.
Yeah,
like as much as they dislike us dropping that on them, to the point where they actually vilify Einstein because he's the one who enabled it. That's the reason why Dr. Wily looks the way he does. He looks like Albert Einstein.
Oh wow, yeah.
And Thomas Light looks like Thomas Edison, who was not so good, not nearly so good. But yeah, regardless, they do still have some like guilt. Oh yeah, no, BJ Blazkowicz. Yeah, BJ Blazkowicz. Yeah, I would want to fucking strangle his dad too, because yeah. But like, there's like so much that like Gen 5 did for me that I was like, and I think it also kind of like woke up my writer brain that made me want to start writing stories of my own to kind of hash out some of the stuff I did. I started thinking about like hashing out plots, role-playing more, stuff like that, and it started to become this kind of thing that kind of evolved into what I do now. And what's really funny is that likely I actually do have an idea for like so just before just as a thing, there is a tabletop system for Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
It's called Pokemon Tabletop United, and one of the things I want to do with
really
that
fun.
is do a series, do like a tabletop thing with do like a TTRPG thing with a bunch of people. Maybe I could get some of you guys in that.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do a Pokemon.
Yeah, I might break out Roll20 for it. I might break out my Roll20 for it, and just kind of like do something with that where people can have types too, based on heritage or modification or influence or something like that. And these could show up as signs. For example, like someone with a draconic heritage might have like small wing buds, or their eyes may be slitted, or they might have scales patching their cheek, for example. And a bug type heritage might have eyes that kind of almost like glisten, like they're faceted, like they're multi-eyed. They'll have a very high acuity. They'll be able to smell decently well, or be able to climb really well, etc. There'll be like signs that like physical signs one can see, like, oh hey, you're XYZ heritage, or oh hey, you're this that. It would be interesting to go with as a thing.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool.
And I might actually hash that out in the Cute Way HQ Discord, which is the collab Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that's getting off topic again. Though. A lot of, but yeah, it also probably inspired me in the. Yeah. Oh yeah, they may rub their hand. That might be more of a dark type. That might be more of a dark type thing, where it's like a kind of schemy thing. Like that might be that. Yeah, like or like yeah. But yeah. Anyway, the whole thing of Gen 5 may have also inspired me to write more, I guess, darkly complex stories where it's dark, but it's not like there isn't any light.
Yeah. I wish Pokemon games had stories that interesting. Like, there's concepts that I like. Like, I don't mind conceptually some of the stuff in Scarlet Violet. The ideas were cool, but I feel like it could have been gone further.
I do like how they handled I forget what his name was, but the son of the professor.
Yeah, no,
duo.
that
I like how
plotline
they
I thought was
handled it
really
because
cool.
they did a realistic. It wasn't just, oh,
Yeah.
that's daddy issues, or oh, that's
Yeah.
mommy issues. No, it
Uh-huh.
was a realistic interpretation of what does a kid do when their parent just up and vanishes,
Yeah.
and then they find out that they died and they've been talking
Yeah.
to an AI clone,
Oh my god, yeah,
or
that
like or
I liked
something
that
else.
plot twist. I was actually a little bit
Yeah.
like surprised, like, whoa, they went there.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game didn't have the same energy.
Nimona is just Goku in another story,
Yeah.
another thing. I'm sorry, but also I do like also how they handled Penny. Like,
Oh
Penny
yeah,
was very
Penny was
interesting how they
fun.
handled her, because Penny was like,
I love Penny. She's my favorite.
how do you handle being made a pariah? How do you handle being made a pariah because you stood up, you wanted to stand up for
Yeah.
the bullied? That's like, that was huge, and I was like, I felt seen by that.
Only dark suit got for Pokemon recently.
Cubone's just dark in general. Remember, it wears the skull of its mother.
Yeah, no, I love the Cupone lore. No, I'm gonna defend the quote-unquote weird fanfics Game Freak made. I thought that was really cool with straight up, like, mythology. Like,
I'm sorry,
I
but my boy
understand
Typhlosion
why.
did not deserve to be put on the list.
Yeah, no, I understand why the internet freaked out, but, like, that's straight up, like, how Greek mythology is. Like, that's mythology. They make Pokemon mythology. That's not lunar stuff. That's really cool, and I think people are not mature enough to comprehend. But I thought that was awesome.
It's the gods fooling around with mortals. That's just what it is, essentially. But in this case, it's like, but also another thing, Gen 4, this is something I will bring up for Gen 4 that was actually pretty cool, and that before things happened, before like progression happened, before like species progression happened, Pokemon and humans were not too dissimilar.
Yeah.
To the point of they were compatible.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool.
In the original Japanese translation of the book in Canalave Library, it outright states that they could have viable offspring.
Even if someone's forced pregnancy, that's just mythology, man.
That was, again, remember,
dark, messed up, but that's just how mythology works.
There are a lot of stories in Japanese mythology specifically about kami doing that to people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories about that in Japan.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like, the norm for them. That's why it seems crazy from a Western point of view.
Yeah, I think that's probably why it was scrapped.
We have different sensibilities and we have different standards for what is okay for children.
Yeah,
compared to Japan. Japan's a lot more like, these guys are gonna run into it anyway. We may as well educate them about it. Like, it's there's still a lot of like, there's every culture has weird, will seem weird if you're just steeped in your own. People are different. People are strange. I just take them one at a time. I don't judge anyone. I don't judge anyone based on their culture alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds weird, but I'm like, hey, that's where they grew up. So regardless, anyway, getting back to what I was kind of going at.
Yeah.
Get back to the heisei stuff. We're getting off topic. But yeah. There was a lot of like, actually, do you have any questions yourself about like that kind of era of Pokemon? Because you kind of did play some of that era of Pokemon, but you may not have like But yeah, do you have any questions?
Well, I do want to talk a little bit. Do you have any experience watching a Pokemon anime? Did you grow up watching that as well?
I do. I did not watch it on the TV. I would catch it like via okay, I'll catch it occasionally. Catch an episode or two occasionly on like online sites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember watching a lot of Black White, the Black White anime, and that was loads of fun.
Yeah, the Black White anime is pretty good.
Black and White actually had three rivals.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It was the start. No, it was the start of the multi-rival system, where they had three rivals. there was Bianca, there was Chen, and there was was that? Yeah, Bianca and hold on, I need to remember look up. I know it's Bianca because Bianca pops up later in Gen 5. No, Bianca pops up in Gen 1, Gen 5 as in Black 2 White 2 as the assistant to the professor because she realizes that she's not really good at Pokemon, but she's good at battling.
Why did Team Rocket lock in so it's during Gen 5?
Oh,
that wasn't they tried to make Team Rocket edgy again. In the anime.
In the anime, they locked in because they were in danger of losing their jobs. Because Giovanni was about done with them.
Yeah.
They had to lock the fuck in. Because remember, in the next gen in Sun and Moon, actually in Sun and Moon specifically, they're unemployed.
Yeah.
They're no longer employed. They got fired. In fact, they had to make do with being basically kept alive by a beware. That's what I do remember. Anyway, let me get back to so Gen 5 Pokemon. Let me just I need to get back to I need to remember what it was. Let me get to I need to get to Bulbapedia because that'll have the best one. Bulbapedia being one of these sources I use for Pokemon. I mainly use Cerebi for stuff like
Cerebi and Bulbapedia are awesome.
Cerebi, in the anime they just became SP. They started out, they keep on trying to steal the Pikachu, but they can't.
That's their life's mission.
Yeah. Anyway, let me just real quick. Sorry. Oh wow. That's interesting. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, I stopped watching the Pokemon anime in X and Y.
I was not. Yeah. So
X and Y is when I stopped watching the anime.
Black White. So rivals are rivals are just kind of like the thing that happens. Let me just go here. In the core series games. So Black White had. Well, no, technically, Black and White had 3 as Sharon. Sorry, not Shen. Sharon, Bianca, and N. In Black 2 White 2, it just went back to the 1, which was Hugh. In X and Y, they had a whopping 5.
Oh my gosh, yeah. X and Y, there's so many.
Technically, no, 4 technically, because one of them would always be used. So, Caleb and Serena are the protagonist names. The protagonist canon names. And then so if you picked the male, your rivals would be Serena, Shauna, Tierno, and Trevor. If you pick the female, it would be Caleb, Shauna, Tierno, and Trevor.
Yeah.
That was the start of the 3, and then they moved on to move back onto a 2 format, and then Swish had the 3 again. Sword and Shield. And it had Hop, Beatty, Murney, and then it was and then each DLC had a different rival. Each DLC had a rival where it was Clara in armor, it's Clara in sword and Avery in shield. Scarlet Violet had Nimona and Arven, and then the DLCs had Carmine and Kieran.
My gosh, this is not the place to talk about it for today's stream, but oh my god, I have so many opinions on that DLC. The story is wild and made me kind of mad. I was like ranting. So I was watching my brother play through it recently. I was like, what is this? What I did love about not Teal Mask but Indigo Disc was that we saw that there is in fact a failure point for Master Balls. They will at some point fail. Which is crazy.
If there's too much power in it, it will break. And that's what the Pokemon Terrestrialization was for it. But anyway, going back to what it was talking about, I did enjoy Hugh because Hugh actually had a very, very good, and that's the rival in Black 2 White 2.
Yep.
He had a very, very good reason for hating Team Plasma universally. It's because they took his little sister's Purloin and apparently it died.
Oh my gosh.
When they took it. But yeah, like they started when they got to Black White, they started getting real experimental with the rival system. So that was the start of the 3-1 there, where they had Sharon, Bianca, and N. And then they moved back to 1 in Black to White because, okay, hold on, let's take this baby steps this time. Move back to 1, and then in X and Y they had a different style of rival system where the only real rival you had was the opposite gender one. So if you were Caleb, it was Serena. If it was Serena, it was Caleb. For Sun and Moon and Usum, it actually Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the way they handled How was very similar to how they handled Bianca, where Bianca in Black 2 White 2 becomes the assistant to Professor Juniper. And How in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon realizes pretty much midway through his journey, he's like, I can't beat you. Continuing to try and beat you is only going to drive me insane. I can't be the very best if you're around, and I'm not going to play unfairly. So you know what? This ain't me. This ain't it. I'm not good at this. I'm going to instead work with the professor. I'm going to be the professor's assistant. And I think that was like, because when it came to like Blue in RGB, red, green, blue, yellow, he was uncharacteristically haughty. Like every time you beat him, he'd have this other new delusion to say that he's still better. And only at the very end, once you beat him, once he's reached champion, he's like, what? And it's like, he's still indignant. Like he still thinks you cheated in some way.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And even when it's Oak says, hey, this is why you failed, he's like, nah, that can't be it. And it's like, it doesn't make much sense.
No, I love it though.
Silver has a different reason for being the way he is, and it makes sense there. And Wally and May / Brendan, the rivals of RSE, they're not like, it's kind of like not really a thing in that. Barry is just all energy. He is literally ADHD incarnate. That's I think when they started playing around with text sizes and text boxes too. Because you just like you just come out of your room, you come out of your house and just he slams into you and it's a big bump. In the text box, and he's just full of energy, and I did like that about him, but like it got annoying after a while. It's one of those reasons why I didn't like Gen 4 plot that much. Is like Barry is way too annoying.
Red has so much aura.
Yeah. In Gold, Silver, Crystal, yeah, Red.
Oh my God,
like Red just like ... challenges you and has the most bullshit Pikachu in the world. Like that Pikachu is literally the most busted thing in the game. I'm not even kidding. Like it's not only is it level 100, it's just like there are just genuine problems about it. Like it is a problem. I swear it has also cheated stats. Like its stats are not valid for
Oh my God, it's so funny.
But yeah, it is his ace, and it's for a good reason.
Yes.
It's really strong. But also there was also apparently, it's still in the code too apparently. It's in RGB and also Fire Red Leaf Dream that you could fight Professor Oak post game. It was in the code.
I never knew that.
You had to do an AR code AR code or Game Shark code in order to fight it though.
Oh wow! What Pokemon does he have?
He would have he had a host of really strong Pokemon. I don't think he had a legendary, but he had a host of really strong Pokemon, and the final stage of the starter that wasn't picked.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It was when they were so if you picked Charizard, he would have if you picked Charmander, he would have Venusaur. If you picked Squirtle, he would have Charizard, and if you picked Bulbasaur, he would have Blastoise. And it was kind of like he was supposed to be the litmus test after you beat everything else, because he was a trainer too. Agatha says so. He was a big hotshot trainer too. But then he mellowed out.
Yeah,
because Agatha was his friend.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And it was also somewhat implied that they also had feelings for each other.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, and yeah, though I do like the kind of like recurring, like they've already reached the. Oh, and also another thing, I believe it was Sun and Moon that did this. That you can find red and blue there too. You can find them on the islands.
Oh
In post game.
wow.
Yeah, they also have actually they also keep red being silent and blue speaks for him because they've since made up and stuff like that.
I love that.
Red is still a man of few words, and
No, I
blue
think
is
that's
like
so
blue chimes
funny.
in and talks about that. Mm-hmm.
I find that such a fun
Because
concept.
yeah, because one of the in fact it was so much thing that some people headcanon that red is mute, that he speaks through sign language.
Yeah, which is cool. I like that concept.
That's a cool headcanon that I really do like. That why he doesn't speak because not because he can but doesn't want to, or too shy, or is a man of few words, but because he can't. Because why else would a 10-year-old be so quiet? Besides, of course, trauma, but
yeah.
Because even in private, like, you would see them talking to each other, but Red never speaks throughout the entirety of his journey. He's almost always either spoken for, or somebody guessed the gist of something from, like, a gesture or something. And also, I believe you can also run into Leaf there, too, or Green.
Really?
In Sun and Moon.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I think Green pops up, too, which is the female trainer
I love Green.
Fire Red Leaf Green.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also, Yellow is actually theoretically a character as well, separate from Ash. It's more filled out in Pokemon Adventures of the Pokemon Adventures manga, but he's referred to as Yellow of the Viridian Forest.
Oh yeah, I know about him. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool concept how they kind of like flesh out things more in like in the stuff like that. I also did want to talk a little bit about the spin-offs that popped up in that era, and specifically some of the mechanics that like and some of the mechanics and stuff that popped up in around the Heisei era. So, do you remember? Did you played Gen 5? Do you remember you played Gen 5, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Did you play it back when it was like newish?
Yeah.
Did you do the dream stuff? Where you would link up your game with the Pokemon servers, put one of your Pokemon to sleep, and then hop on your PC and do a bit of web gaming.
I don't think I did. My siblings might have.
That was how you got hidden abilities back then.
Whoa.
Yeah, because
I actually did not know that.
Dream World abilities. They were called Dream World abilities back then.
Wow.
So for example, that was the only way you could get a Poison Heal Gliscor. You would have You would have to put one of your Pokemon to sleep, hop on online on their site, and then you would literally just like this would also be how you would easily get infinite berries and stuff like that. It was kind of like how it kind of was like the Pokepelago for Gen 5. It had a berry place where you could pick up berries where your Pokemon would bring them back out. It was specifically you unlock this after you save the Muna and the Musharna from Team Plasma trying to bully it to make more Dream Mist. And I did not know that was a thing. You got some of this Dream Mist as a reward for saving this thing because it out of gratitude made some for you. It was then bottled up and you gave it to the gave it to the professor in the nearby town, and she would use it to make she would then use it to allow to make a machine that allows your Pokemon to fall asleep and explore the dream world.
Oh wow!
And that was another thing that was the side plot of Gen 5, which leads me to another side game, which was actually on, I believe, the DSi, which it wanted to use a lot of the gyro systems that the DSi had, which was Pokemon Dream Radar. That one was a really fun, like, little mini game on the DSi. I believe it was free. And basically what you would do is you would be playing around, you would be shooting dream clouds and stuff like that, and occasionally you would run into Pokemon. That you would zap these Pokemon by aiming at them in real space. Basically you would spin around and stuff and aim at them in real space. And by using the gyro, and then you would you would eventually get to docile them enough to catch them. This was also how you
wow.
got the genie trio. Landorus, Tornadus, and Landorus, Tornadus, and Thunderous.
Oh, really?
And it's also how you would get access to the reveal glass, because while they're in the dream world, they are in their Therian forms. Landorus is a dog-like creature. Thunderous is I forget what Thunderous was. Thunderous is like a like I think it's like a sky serpent thing or something like that. It's like weird, it's something weird
yeah.
thing. And then Tornadus is a bird. And the reveal glass would change them back and forth between their true forms and their Therian forms, their incarnate forms and their Therian forms. So you had and these had different abilities, and it's also why Lando T became such a problem because Lando Therian had Intimidate, and it was a big problem. Though apparently Lando Incarnate was even worse, and they ended up in Anything Goes as a result. It had Sheer Force, and has a really nasty ability for it. But yeah, it had Sheer Force and had a move that it was really strong and also had a secondary effect, so it would get even boosted even further. But yeah, there was so many and one of the side games I played around that in that Heisei era was Guardian Signs.
Yeah, I loved Guardian Signs.
Into the Ranger. My first foray into the world of Pokemon Ranger. I also played a lot, and I mean a lot, of Red Rescue Team, because I did not have Blue Rescue Team because I did not have a DS at the time. What Red and Blue Rescue Team did, though, was really interesting. It actually advertised Gen 4 before it came out, because the statues you could get and some of the Pokemon you could encounter were before the Gen 4 came out. So in a world of just Gen 3 and up Pokemon, you could find a statue of Bonsly. You could find a statue of Lucario. And you could have those on your thing. And those were Pokemon that we had not discovered yet, but we had not learned of yet, but were in Gen 4. I also played a bunch. I sunk way too many hours into Explorers of Time.
Oh my god.
That game. And the funny thing, those two games broke me in an emotional way.
Explorers of Sky is my favorite video game of all time. I love that game so much.
It was like
oh my god.
It was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Farewell. Parting Farewell. And Don't Ever Forget. Those two songs, they make me cry. They're so somber and stuff like that. And because the thing is, you're not technically of this world. You're in Red Rescue Team, Blue Rescue Team. You're from the world of humans, brought over to solve a problem. And you were sent back. And you were going to be sent back, but then you say no. In Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky, you are of a timeline that you are working and eventually cause to no longer exist, and thus you start vanishing. And then Dialga says, no, this guy helped me too much. This guy literally saved me from madness. Nah, he gets to stay. And I don't know about Gates to Infinity and Super. I have not actually played those to completion.
Yeah, I haven't either, actually. Oh yeah, but...
But those two games, I have a lot to thank for them. But also, absolutely, but still, I'm gonna say, and forgive my language for this, fuck Monster Houses and fuck Fury Attack.
Oh my god, Monster Houses are the worst.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Fury Attack is also the worst. The way that they had to convert Pokemon moves into a format that worked for the Mystery Dungeon format, which, by the way, Etrian Odyssey had been doing for a very long time. Which is in a way that made these moves so much more scarier. A lot of the really good moves are bad, and a lot of the really bad moves are really good. Fury Attacks is really good. Smokescreen Smokescreen hits an opponent with a status that makes it basically so that they can't fucking hit shit. Instead of being lowering accuracy, it applies the whiffer status effect, which makes it, well, you're whiffing all the time. it's some nasty stuff. But yeah, like and a lot of some of the moves, for example, flamethrower is more useful than flameblower is more useful than, say, like Inferno or Fire Blast, because it's a full line. It will hit it. It's a line attack that will do that. Eruption is not nearly so good because it can hit your allies unless you have a specific IQ skill. There's so much more you have to think about that is different than a normal thing, and it exercises your brain in a different way that I liked. Also, I will also say that the feelings of have you tried, when you played any of the Mystery Dungeon games, did you ever like linger around on the floor for a little bit too long and you feel the wind blow, and it's like an ominous wind is blowing and stuff like that?
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like you're staying on this floor for too long, get to the exit, or we're exiting you in the dungeon permanently. Because because they think like, okay, you're either lingering on here for something that we don't know what you want, and you shouldn't be here for too long for whatever reason. Get a move on, or you can't find the exit, or for some reason the exit is somehow unavailable. We're gonna get you out. There are theoretically ways that could happen. For example, you don't have a water type on your team, and you don't have an exit seed, or it's pure seed to bring yourself to the exit, and the exit is surrounded by water.
Mm.
And you don't have like a water type to swim over, or if it's lava and you don't have a fire type, or and for either of the case, a flying type can avoid it too, because if they're flying, they can just fly over it. But flying types will get burned if they fly over lava.
Yeah.
Also, gaps can only be crossed by flying types or levitators. For example, Bronzong and Bronzor can cross over gaps. Ghost types also could phase through walls at the cost of hunger, which was interesting. Also, another useful thing was Roar, because Roar could actually do damage in that if you made the enemy hit a wall or another enemy. And also, Paralysis was absolutely fuck-busted. So the way I beat Dialga in Explorers of Time, I was a Riolu, my partner was a Mudkip. I made sure that my Mudkip had Mud Slap, and that I had Force Palm. I used Force Palm to paralyze. I made sure my Mudkip was only using Mud Slap. So I'd paralyze Dialga. He'd be stuck in paralysis, unable to move and attack. His speed will also be lowered by 2 stages. Because because what paralysis does is have your speed in game. So they translated by making you act 3 times as slow as the other people. So in every move Dialga got, you would get 2 extra. So you would have a turn, then another, and then Dialga would get his.
Yeah.
So while I was making sure he stayed paralyzed, my Mudkip partner was mud slapping the hell out of him to lower his accuracy to 0. So now Roar of Time becomes okay, so you missed again, and now you're inactive, and I can paralyze you again. Let's do this over again. Let's do the dance. And also, fighting type, since Dialga is Dragon Steel, fighting type is super effective. So anyway.
My God. So difficult.
Yeah,
no, I will say, look, on Mystery Dungeon is the reason I don't like Sableye. I still to this day, I don't like Sableye, and my resentment towards Sableye is because of Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky.
Oh, because it's so hard to hit?
Yes! Oh my God, I would get so mad during that one fight with all the Sableyes. I hate you guys so much.
Yeah, because fighting. So to be fair, at least it has little effect, so you do some damage.
I just remember getting stuck there for so long and being so angry. A rage quit.
What I will say is that the introduction of fairy type means that that's no longer an issue.
Yeah.
You have a fairy type move to hit it with it. I honestly think that fairy type was introduced not to nerf dragons, but to specifically give a weakness to the non-weak type. Because Ghost Dark used to be the only type combo that had all their types covered, and they would at least be neutral to everything. So Sableye, and specifically that's only why there's only two Pokemon with it. Sableye and Spiritomb. And they have very good reasons both for having those types. You know that Sableye actually is based on the concept of a kobold.
Yeah.
Specifically, kobolds were originally stories of. Kobolds were originally the thing people blamed cobalt miners' deaths on. That's why they're called kobolds. In fact, the original name of them were kobolds, as in cobalt, but but D instead of T. So cobalt. So that just eventually changed into kobold as we know it, where it's a little dragonesque creature. But they used to be, they were described as this thing because also cobalt mining is generally is extremely toxic. The gas is the dust thrown up is toxic. Cobalt itself is radioactive. Generally not a good time to be a cobalt miner. It's also where we got the term canary in the coal mine, because not only were canaries used in coal mines to tell when the air was anoxic, but also in cobalt mines. When the birds stopped singing, you knew you were in danger and you needed to get out, because there was no more breathable air. But yeah, a lot of my mystery dungeon playing was, all right, this is a puzzle I need to solve. How do I solve it?
Very much a puzzle game.
By the way, I didn't really screw around the post game all that much too, because a lot of it was 99 floor dungeons I did not care for.
Oh yeah.
Or you start at level 1, have fun. Yep. Yeah. Legend English folklore where miners had to offer food and water to the
Yeah. That's true.
A lot, and I mean a lot of Pokemon are based off of mythical creatures and not just animals. For example, did you know Mawile is based on one?
Oh, what's Mawile based on?
Hold on. It is so there is a the concept of Mawile is based on a Japanese creature, Japanese yokai. Futakuchi. I'm gonna butcher this, by the way. Futakuchi Onna, a woman with a mouth on the back of her head. These were often yokai that were created as a result of these were yokai that were created as a result of hidden gluttony. They would Futakuchi Onas were creatures that were basically, they usually were a two-mouthed woman, type of yokai or Japanese monster. Two mouths, one located on their face and the one on the back of the head beneath the hair. Splits apart, forming lips, teeth, tongue, and entirely separate mouth, like Mawile has. There was a stingy, the most famous and prototypical story of one is there was a small village that lived a stingy miser who, because he could not bear the expense of paying for food for a wife, lived entirely by himself. One day he met a woman who was full of beauty, with every villager admiring her looks. Although she did not eat anything, the miser immediately took the woman as his wife. Because she never ate a thing and she was still a hard worker, the old miser was extraordinarily thrilled with her. But on the other hand, he began to wonder why his storage of rice was steadily decreasing. One man that pretended to leave for work, but instead stayed behind to spy on his new wife. To his horror, he saw his wife's hair part on the back of her head, her skull split wide open to reveal a gaping mouth. She unbound her hair, and when it reached out like tentacles to grab the rice and shove it into her hungry mouth, he immediately ran away in fear after a moment of horror about his wife having a mouth in the back of her head. So yeah, that's what Mawile is based on.
I love
it's also
Mawile.
Based on
Mawile, one of my favorite Pokemon designs.
It's also based on a bear trap.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And the metaphor of silk hiding steel, where beauty can hide deadliness. The original name, by the way, the original name of it was the Japanese name of it is Chikara Mochi, is a pun, being readable as Muscle Man and Strengthening Mochi.
That's cute.
Yep. They love Pokemon loves their puns.
Yes.
For Volcarona, I believe did. Let me see if Volcarona has its own thing. I know that it's had its like. So yeah. Volcarona. Volcarona actually shares this category with two others, Espeon and Sunflora, all known as the Sun Pokemon. Volcarona evolves from its pre-evolved form Larvesta at the highest level of all two-stage evolutionary lines, at level 59. It was originally designed with 4 wings, but was later designed with 6 to make it look more powerful. And there's only 3 Pokemon that share the quality of having 2 paradoxes that resemble it. And that is Donphan and Cyclozar, because remember, Donphan has Iron Treads and I think it was I forget the other one, the past version. Cyclozar has Miraidon and Koraidon, the box legendaries, and Volcarona has Slitherwing and Iron Moth. And I was very, very glad to find it. Yeah. So Volcarona is based on the garden tiger moth, the insect, the insect most commonly associated with a Japanese proverb, the summer insect that flies into the fire. It is also based on an atlas moth, and its 6 wings look like a seraphim, specifically Saint Francis's Seraph Christ, where he has and it's got and there's the climbing moth, which is a type of tiger moth that has a cross on its back, sometimes dubbed the crucifix moth or Jesus moth.
Wow.
So yeah, a species name, and it's named from the nymph Clymene, lover of Helios, linking back again to solar deities. There's so much to it, and also Volcarona gives it ties to Vulcan, the Roman god of fire and volcanoes, and Corona, the sun. And Ulgamoth is the Japanese version is the Japanese is a combination of moth, Urukanusu, which is Vulcanus's name in Japanese, and Ga, which is moth. So yeah, they love their puns.
Yeah, no,
German
I think
calls
it's
it
fun.
German calls it Ramoth, which is Ra and moth, which Ra is the sun god of Egypt. French calls it Pyrax, which is from Pyro or Pyrale, the ancient sun god Ra, and possibly Thorax. Korean calls it Bulkamos, which is Vulcan or Bul, and moth. Yeah, so they all tie it all over to either Vulcan and stuff like that. It's apparently fucking Oh, I see. Yeah. Apparently, it's from it's in the other Pokemon Snap where there's Illumina stuff. But yeah. A lot, and there's also I also love how they did the more when they did the more Western thing, because each region, each gen pops up in a specific area of it's an analog to a specific area of the world.
Yeah.
For example, Sinnoh is based on I believe the Hokkaido region.
Yeah, Hokkaido.
Kanto is from the Kansai region. I believe either Kansai or Kanto. Johto is also from an area of Japan. But for Gen 5, that's New York.
Yeah.
So as a result, they went with a lot more Western things. So Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, and Keldeo are the story of the 3 Musketeers.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, so they still had some Japanese influence with the Kyurem and stuff like that. Keldeo is the 4th Musketeer that they kind of bring on. Meloetta is in appearance literally just Miku, but also is a representative of it's kind of it's hard to explain what it really is just thing, because it's just so generic, because there's Pirouette form, which is based on, there's so much to it, there's so much to it, yeah. So it's based on it. So have you heard, you've all talked about when people are creative, they say they have a muse, right?
Yeah,
that was originally a Greek, that was a Greek, these were created,
the 9 muses
gods created. These were a muse, the 9 muses, but these would visit people who were creative.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And inspire them. but yeah, she's a typical singer, specifically more like an idol or Miku, which is why her shiny why her shiny, which I don't think ever has gotten released as a shiny, has like cyan or blue hair because
Oh,
that's Miku.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I think yeah, it exists in the data. Yeah, her shiny has cyan hair just like Miku does. And her pirouette form shiny actually has red hair, like has a magenta hair like Megane. Like not Megane. Forget what it is. There was another one. Luca. A Mega Luca.
Oh yeah,
Luca.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you went over that with the Vocaloid series. Yeah, Megarine Luca.
Yeah.
So her pirouette form has like that magenta hair that Megarine Luca has. But yeah, but she's also almost like she wears a headdress like Nefertiti as her hair curled up like that, or a ballerina, but she looks like a flamenco dancer as well. It's meant to be ambiguous artistic expression. So Meloetta is artistic expression in the form of song, whereas aria form is of song, pirouette form is of dance.
Yeah, I love that. I think Meloetta's a really fun Pokemon.
And also, the guitarist who teaches Meloetta Relic Song in Gen 4 mentions that it lost its red shoes at the same time that sorrow darkened the world and it lost the song it had danced to. And that's a reference to Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Red Shoes. So, and also, its transformation between forms is a lot like Magical Girl transformation. So it's all about this, like, it's media in expression, but also more like music and stuff like that. It's even its name. Meloetta is melody, pirouette, operetta, arietta. And it's very Italian in nature, which guess who a lot of the Italians who migrated into the US settled in?
Yeah.
New York, in that area. Because it was the closest place from off from Ellis Island, which, by the way, is the analog of the place where you find Victini. There's so much, and also in Scarlet Violet, in Indigo Disc, you can encounter Meloetta via paying attention to its original Dex data.
Wait, really?
There was a tail. There was a tail that you could tell, that you could see there was a tale you could tell. There was like a story that was told in about Meloetta, where I believe it was like it was like something in sepia that was mentioned, and so what you needed to do is go to a specific area in I know I can look it up back. So Meloetta and Scarlet and Violet, the way you get her is so cool because you actually have to pay attention to her like various like stories. You need to go to the terrarium in a specific place, find a place where a small breeze is blowing a few leaves in a circle. You spin around clockwise for 10 seconds, and then after spinning, you immediately open your camera, set the filter to sepia, and wait for a bit. You will hear the relic song, and you will look around and find her.
That's so cool.
Yup. I forget what the original reason for it was. I think there was like Dex data, something like that. Or Dex data or something like that. Yeah, because it's like it's got a thing in there for like I forget what it was. It was like something told about it. I forget what the original story was. It was like something in sepia. I need to find the original like tale of it. It was like it was like you had to pay attention. No, it was like I think it was a thing that was told in like the Scarlet and Violet books. Like a lot of the stuff you could find. But yeah, you'll find it like spinning in a circle, and you have to kind of follow the way the wind is spinning.
Well, that's really fun. I love how like detailed Pokemon can get. Where
Yeah,
it's like, do
I
these
loved how
very
they actually paid
specific
attention
things.
to. Yeah, that's how
I
they
feel like
kind of
that's how
captured a lot.
playground
That's
rumors kind of worked back in the day too. You're
yep.
like, do this,
Mm-hmm.
this, and this, and something crazy will happen. Trust me.
Oh no!
And
Oh right,
sometimes
right,
it's
right, right, right.
fake, but sometimes it's actually real. You're like, whoa, how could this be?
Right. Okay. I remember the guitarist that teaches
Mm-hmm.
Relic Song to her mentions that the song is sepia colored
Oh, that's so cool.
because
I love that.
yeah, you actually have to pay attention to yeah and also it's not actually learned by level up in generation 4 in
Mm-hmm.
generation 5 by Meloetta. You have to reteach it because it's forgotten it.
Oh.
The musician in Cafe Sonata in Castelia City. Uh, yeah. Brings a fateful encounter. Meloetta the musician will teach it. Relic Song. I forget what the dialogue is. I can look it up real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah. So. Yeah, okay, let me see if I can find the actual dialogue. It's really weird to find it, to find it. Yeah, because it's really, people don't like keep it like really, because they only show it like as a talk and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, it's really hard to find it. But yeah, he mentions like, he says it was in sepia. Let me see if I can find it via his class because it just links to music class, like the musician class of thing. So yeah. Oh no, she does learn it by level up no, she learns it up by in Scarlet Violet and Zeta A, but not in Black and White. But yeah, oh yeah, it teaches, he was, another musician appeared in with, oh yeah, he appeared actually he appeared in the Black and White arc of Pokemon Adventures, where he was basically a musician who plays the guitar in Cafe Sonata. Yeah, so he actually appeared in the same musician appeared in the manga.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting how that, but yeah, it's a case of like, it's just so glorious how they kind of remember that shit. And the thing is, it's made for people. I feel like Scarlet and Violet was really made for, especially like Indigo Disc and stuff like that, was made for people who remember the older games. And it's like, this is what like, yeah, remember what it was. Remember that thing we did talk to you about in Gen 5? Yeah, do you remember that? And also, yeah, and like she will be singing and stuff like that. And it's nice.
I love that so much, honestly. Often they're able to like do proper callbacks, specifically for the people who will remember. Like it's such a subtle thing too. Like a casual player would never know that. I didn't know that was even in the game.
Yep. Yeah, if you have to go to the terrarium where near the coastal biome. And there'll be a wind spinning in a circle, and you have to spin in the same way, which is clockwise, and you spin for 10 seconds, and then you pull out the camera and use the D-pad to change the sepia and wait and listen. Because the Relic Song does exist. It's actually been composed by someone in there. Hold on, let me see if I can. There's actually let me see if I can. Yeah, someone remastered it, but like, yeah. And you can actually see the you can actually, and it's also apparently changed different in there. But yeah, it's also in Pokemon Masters EX, and you can listen to it in Scarlet and Violet. If you just wait for a little bit.
I love that.
Yep.
I'm gonna check that out later, actually.
But also, the reason why it's called Colored in Sepia is because the reason why it's often colored in sepia is because what the Relic Song gives to its listeners is memories of a better time, an earlier time, which is why. Remember what oftentimes we say, like, when we say like when we're thinking of like when oftentimes when we talk about like old things, like they're often like colored in sepia, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like browned and stuff. That's why it's colored in sepia. It evokes a wistful old time, and that's also why it has a 50% sleep chance, because it puts to sleep those it makes one dream about older times, about better times, about past times. But yeah, and also Meloetta is not Meloetta is just like, it's really nice, and I really am glad they brought it back proper in Scarlet Violet, because
Yeah, no, that's
so many
so
Gen 5
cool.
Pokemon they haven't.
That's so cool.
Genesect has not been properly available for a while. Genesect has not been properly available for a while and stuff like that. You can get the drives in Scarlet Violet. They're part of the auction thing.
Oh yeah.
Also, Snivy's hidden Superior's hidden ability is also really good. Contrary, it gets Leaf Storm, so it just gets a free nasty plot boost every time it uses a damaging move. It uses that damaging move. But yeah, there are just like, it's just, there's something, and they've also, I believe they skipped it over when they did remakes. I hope they do a remake of Gen 5. I might consider getting the Switch 2 if it's only on the Switch 2.
They might. Honestly, I feel like it's a good possibility next year or two.
And I hope they do it justice. Because
I know people hated the Gen 4 remakes, which is sad. I think Gen 4 deserved better.
To be honest, they didn't have much to work with Gen 4.
Yeah.
When I was passing out playing Gen 4, just like actually falling asleep, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But also, if they bring back Black 2, White 2, Black and White as a remake, I really do hope they do something with that like site thing with the dream world thing again. They bring up the site again.
Yeah.
That would be fun, because like having that kind of like, because the thing is that provided a nice little bit of connection, and maybe you could have it like interact with other people. Like you could like imagine, for example, like you have like whenever you wanted to hop on and like interact with people on the web via this thing, you would bring in a Pokemon, like you would use a Pokemon that you have as an avatar. Like you put the Pokemon to sleep and you wanted to interact with people. Yeah, like for example, like imagine like somebody like when you're like first hopping on, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put to sleep one of my Pokemon that I recently caught. That's really cool. It's a shiny and all that. And you walk in, and it's like, hey, there's other people with shinies, another really cool Pokemon. Hey, yeah. And there's so much cool stuff you can do with that. There's so much you can do with that now that they've gotten more advanced with it. And also there's another thing, like, yeah, so Black and White occurs several years after Generation 1 and 4 specifically. Generation 1 and 4 seem to happen around the same time. The Team Rocket Grunt who stole the machine part made a cameo appearance. The machine part from Gen 2 makes a cameo appearance, saying that while he intended to revive Team Rocket upon returning home, he instead fell in love and had a son. Cynthia mentions visiting the Distortion World after being defeated by a young traitor as Sinnoh League champion. By the way, the Distortion World's Japanese version is just Japanese name sounds way better. I'm gonna be honest. It's the Torn World.
Oh my god, that's so much cooler.
More directly.
That's so much cooler.
Because yeah, it literally looks like it's been ripped and torn apart. Even the laws of physics don't obey there. But yeah, and specifically also, Giratina and Arceus are actually supposed to be something along the lines of Lucifer and God. Because Giratina,
that makes so much sense.
Giratina is very much a satanic creature and satanic looking creature, and Arceus is very much a highest divinity god looking creature.
Oh my god, do you remember how scary that one scene
Platinum,
of Giratina in the Platinum opening sequence when you start the game?
No, that
was so scary.
That was scary. But in Platinum, when Cyrus screws up and gets dragged into the Torn World by Giratina,
that's so scary.
Because you see blobs of black erupt out of that portal.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh no,
it's so scary.
We're screwed. We're very screwed, aren't we?
Yeah.
Cyrus did a bad. Oh, by the way, Platinum is actually the canon ending because Cyrus is still stuck in the Distortion World. In fact, due to how the Distortion World functions, he's not going to die or age. He's stuck there for eternity.
Oh my god.
Until someone
Pokemon
gets him
can
out,
get
he's stuck
scary.
there.
Pokemon can get so dark and scary when it wants to. It's crazy. I love it.
I will say, the worst fate of all is not a death. It is a lack of one.
Yeah,
it's why I
absolutely.
do not envy Z. It's why I do not envy A from Pokemon X and Y. It's why I do not, and it's also why I do not envy Lysander's fate, because yes, he was made immortal too, as a punishment. But he's also, the worst thing is, he's not just immortal, he's immortal trapped under the wreckage of the weapon. Not only is he immortal, he's not allowed to fucking do anything.
Yeah, it's a scary fate to imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, to never die is something that is even scarier for me than it is for, yeah. Apparently there is a journal entry in Generation 4 that will say Met Distortion World Cyrus. Although, okay, so Battling Giratina here is the only instance in Gen 4 games with Battle Seal does not include a platform graphic underneath the Pokemon. So yeah, because yeah, that's one unique one. Giratina does not have a platform graphic under him. He's completely floating in space.
Yeah.
Although time is said to not flow here, the game clock counting total gameplay time will still add time spent here in events specific time, such as EV's evolution, Espeon, occur. Critical clock on Poketch functions normally. After feeding Cyrus, the journal entry for that day says reads Meet Distortion World Cyrus. But yeah, it's kind of scary, the whole thing. And also it popped up in Pokemon Generations too, in the animation Pokemon Generations. It appeared in the New World, where Cyrus was taken by the Giratina after his failed attempts to control Dialga and Palkia at the Spear Pillar. He realized the Distortion World was like the emotionless world he had attempted to create, and thus he decided to stay there. He actually decided to stay there. He wanted to be there because he wanted... Remember, Cyrus thought that emotions were the flaw, and as such, the flaw of the world, and that's why he wanted to remove it. What's also interesting is that the various media of how they handle the Distortion World. So a lot of them are very much MC Escher style stuff. Gravity does not flow. Gravity does follow the same rules. All sorts of shit's weird. But like some of them have like almost like Dadaist, like melty stuff going on with it in some of the mangas. Oh yeah. I will say they blew it out of the park with the Distortion World. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
But I still think that but it was also like a very much a case of like another thing. Like they really started like, I feel like once they start like going alternate worlds and alternate timelines, they feel like they're getting very close to, if you know the term jumping the shark.
Yeah.
By the way, that is an old reference. The origin of that reference comes from I believe Friends. Or Always Sunny. Either that. It was when Fonz, the Fonz was the person who did the equivalent of jumping the shark. Normally, he was a greaser, but he was a kind of guy of like, he was actually really well grounded. He was well grounded. He was not a person who did crazy shit. And then, on the final episode, basically the final episode that killed the series, he did a fucking crazy stunt. He jumped a shark. And that's where we get the term. It's gonna get to the and when Pokemon starts toying with that sort of thing where they jump the shark and all that, like when they jump the shark too much, when they work with alternate realities and stuff like that, they come very, very close to jumping the shark. And I think Sun and Moon handled it the best. Where it was like they're mostly incidental stuff, you don't explore too much of them, and like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that was kind of good because you kind of got like Ultra Megalopolis and stuff like that. That was good. And the kind of like it provided the gravity of the situation really well with that fight with Ultra Necrozma. That was cool. But I think that the Torn World was about as far as they could go without actually jumping it. They kind of skirted the shark when it came to that. I was like, okay, that was like cool, and that's like really cool, but like that was awesome, but like there's only so far you can go with that idea before it becomes trite and not a thing. And I
Yeah.
think they got almost to the level of burning that out with Usum. Which is why when I saw Mega Dimensions and how they handled that, I was like, God damn it. Because it's just Usum stuff again. Ultrason Ultraman stuff again. It's just that. They're just doing it differently. And it feels like, and it's, I believe, from what I understand, it's just when you go into this ultra space, an ultra dimension, it's just, or Mega Dimension, it's just the same map, but different colors.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Yeah, more or less.
So it's like, God damn it. I have so many issues with D-Day, and I'm not getting into it. I'm not gonna get into that. This is for positive. But yeah, the Torn World, Distortion World is a really cool concept, and I wish that they would do something like that, like something more like that in the future, where it's just a small area where it's like this weird, crazy thing. By the way, I actually tried to fish in that area, and I got, apparently, with a super rod, you can pick up a Gyarados there.
Oh, wow.
Pretty sure. Yeah, there isn't supposed to be Pokemon there, but I think they forgot. They've forgotten, like, certain water patches, because there are some water patches. But yeah, I don't think Gen 5 actually had a character that started as a returning character, the Looker.
Oh yeah.
Looker Bureau.
Yeah.
Looker Bureau is something that popped up by Looker, who popped up in Gen 5. He's Interpol. Actually no, he popped up in Gen 4 and then came up as a recurring character. He popped up in Gen 4 and then popped up in Black and White, then X and Y, and then every game after that up until Sun Moon. He stopped in Sun Moon. After that, he just kind of vanished. But yeah, Looker pops up in Gen 5 as someone who is assigned to capture the 7 sages in Black and White 2, Black 2, White 2. And this is kind of like, and they're literally taken back to go into they were taken back, and it's also to be like, he's also there to point you to, all right, once you find after you apprehend all the sages, he's like, all right. So N was seen going off to a distant land with the dragon Pokemon, and that's to sign, okay, you go over to go over there with the go over the tower and go do your final thing. But yeah, it's very interesting. It is very interesting though, because like he's also based on Doctor Who.
Really?
Oh,
you know, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. From when I look at his trivia, it is possible that oh no. There's also another thing. It looks like he looks like Doctor Who, but also it's possible Looker's looks, attire, and general persona may be derived from Koichi Zenigata, a fictional detective in Monkey Punch's manga series Lupin the Third. There we go.
Oh,
he's Lupin. He's from Lupin.
Yeah. That seems more likely to be the.
And it was Lupin the Third itself was initially released in Japan around the same time that many of the highly ranked staff of Game Freak were young.
Yeah, absolutely. That was absolutely a reference.
Kaiji Tang, who voiced Looker in the English dub of Generations, would later provide the voice of Goro Yadagasuru in the English dub of Lupin the Third Part 5.
Oh man.
Himself working alongside Zenigata.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
So yeah, it's so good. Because you love, because also I know I mentioned this in the Kamen Rider episode, but like I love it when like people who are big fans of a series get to go on and be part of said series.
Yeah, no, it's always awesome when that gets to happen.
It's like a dream come true, and you want to throw yourself into it, like really throw yourself into it. But yeah, the Looker is very now that I look at him in the Pokemon Adventures manga, he very much looks like one of the detectives of Lupin the Third. That's his style. Like it's crazy. And also when he appears in Pokemon Horizons, the series, because yes, so another thing about that note, they finally retired Ash.
Yeah.
He's no longer the protagonist of the.
That was
the series.
so bittersweet when they did that.
Well, he
Like, I get
then he
it,
became champion.
but
He did his
yeah,
job.
very
And now the
deserved.
pact has been fulfilled. The
Yeah.
Ho-Oh's wish has been fulfilled, and now he gets to have his age catch up to him.
Yeah.
That was one of the theories, by the way, of why he's why he was like eternally 10 is because of
Yeah,
the
I like
Ho-Oh
that
wish in,
much better.
after the thunderstorm of Spearow.
Yeah, I like that much better than the coma theory.
Oh, coma theories are such throwaways. Oh, I hate coma
Yeah.
theories. Coma theories are just like, throw your hands up. I give up. I can't explain nothing away. But yeah, the Ho-Oh wish theory is much better because
Yeah,
he
no,
actually
I love
does see
that.
Ho-Oh.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's confirmed to be Ho-Oh that he saw it, and when you
Oh,
see
yeah.
Ho-Oh, a wish is granted to you, and his wish that was granted was he would live until he became champion, and as such, his age was halted. Essentially, but there was an episode though where he did have an 11th birthday, but that was cut. That was not aired
Oh my
at
god.
all. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a removed episode because he's eternally 10 until. But yeah, he's eternally 10, even though he looks like he's growing up a little bit. But yeah, but he stops being, I believe he stops being, yeah, no, I believe it's like Sun and Moon where he gets his first champion, and he becomes champion, and then once it moves to Scarlet Violet, I think they skipped over Sun and Moon, and then it was like Sword and Shield. Once it, I think no, Sword and Shield might have been where he got it, and then once he got that, then it moved on. When it got to Scarlet Violet, they're now doing a different set of protagonists.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen
Because
any
they
of the new
realized that-
anime, but I hear it's good. I hear people like it.
I kind of want to see it myself just to see what the new protagonists are like.
Yeah.
And see if they're any different than Ash, because yeah. And also another reason why they had to move on is because the voice actress for Ash, because yes, it's an actress.
Yeah, I love her.
Starting to get to the point where
awesome.
she can't voice him anymore.
Oh man.
So they kind of had to retire him at that point.
I appreciate that they retired the character rather than recast. Because like Rika Matsumoto also did most of the openings. She sang like almost all of the Japanese Pokemon openings.
But yeah,
so like they're sung by Ash Ketchum essentially. It's awesome. Or Satoshi, I guess.
Another thing. Do you know? Another thing that popped up, I believe, in Generation. It popped up in Generation 4. Did you know about the Masada method?
Maybe.
So the Masada method is a method for increasing the chance of shiny Pokemon by breeding.
Oh.
When you breed one Pokemon from one language from one language with another from another language, you double the shiny chance.
Oh wow. I did not know that actually.
So yeah. So for example, a English Magikarp with a German Magikarp will have a higher chance of hatching a shiny Magikarp.
Oh wow.
Or an English or Japanese or an English and whatever, basically. And you can do this with in-game trades if they have a German language attribute to them, because yes, they can have other there's, for example, the Meister was someone you could trade with in Gen 4 who gave you a Magikarp named Foppa that was in the German language.
Oh wow.
It doubles it. Specifically, it does 4 rerolls. And as a result, you get a probability that is something closer to 5 in 8162, 8192 instead of 1 in 8192. In Generation 5 and 5, 6, and 7, it is 5 rerolls. And in Generation 8 and 9, it is 6. And the Shiny Charm can apply another 2 rerolls to it. And also, I believe once you hit Generation 6, 7, 8, and 9, the chance was already lowered to 4096. And And yeah, and also the Monster method is actually referenced in Scarlet and Violet by one of Jacques' biology classes.
Oh.
He actually references it. If you take one of his biology classes, he'll talk about the Monster method.
Oh wow. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. There's also shiny chaining that was released. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just hold on. Yeah. Oh yeah. There was. Oh yeah. So sorry. There was another thing that was. There was also like apparently a method for increasing the rates in like that was released in Gen 5 of methods. So the Masada would generate. Oh yeah. So Chinese are based on personality values, which used to be actually related to more than just their personality. It used to be related to what their nature was and stuff like that. Although now it's basically at the point for the separation where where you can have any nature of Pokemon with any stats and still be shiny, even though that's part of the it's actually a specific set of bytes in the thing. There's also forced shinies. So for example, in Pokemon Black 2, White 2, you can get 3 specific shinies where you find if player registers every non-event, they can receive a permit that allows them to nature preserve, whether you get a shiny Haxorus. Beating Benga in the Black Tower or the White Tree Hollow, you'll get a shiny Gibble or a shiny Dratini. And Generation 4, Pokemon in the Pokédex will appear shiny if the first specimen of that Pokemon was accounted as shiny. There's possible switch the Pokemon's place shiny if it's accounted later. But yeah, Generation 5, however, also introduced the shiny lock system. So, for example, Victini, Reshiram, Zekrom, and the Zoroark encountered in Lostlorn Forest cannot be shiny, as well as any Pokemon in Hidden Grottos. The gift Pokemon of Zoroa/Eevee and the Deerling obtained on Route 6 also cannot be shiny. While technically not obtained in the actual games, Pokemon caught via the Dream World or Dream Radar can also not be shiny. And Generation 4 also introduced the Shiny Charm, which rerolls adds 2 extra personality values on the reroll, effectively resulting in a triple chance to find the shiny Pokemon base from base jams, from 1 in 8192 to roughly 1 in 2731. This stacks with most of the modifiers too, so you can get down to a really reliable value. So yeah, there are a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And there was, I believe, another method that was introduced later. There was shiny chaining that you could do with in, I believe, Sun and Moon. Or no, it was like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire that I remember you could do it. And also, later on when you got to Generation 9, shiny Pokemon will appear as shiny in the overworld.
Oh yeah, it's much easier to shiny hunt now.
Yeah, so now you don't have to actually encounter them. However, the square sparkle variants are different. They're no longer there. So you don't have even rarer shinies, because yes, Sword and Shield had rarer shinies. They were called there were these there were square there's also brilliant Pokemon, which is chain fishing, which is when beating or catching Pokemon repeatedly. There's also square shinies are a weird concept to me. There's also Poke Radar chaining in BDSP. Where you will use the Poke Radar, and as you build up a chain, you cap out a shiny rate of 199 when you have a chain length of 40 plus, and of encountering the same Pokemon at a time, and and also you get Grand Underground, the Lightstone bonus lasts for 1 bonus shiny reroll after all players in the instance of Grand Under collect Pink Sparkles left by Diglett and Dugtrio. Accumulating 40 of these points and displays the message something good will happen, and a whistle sound will play to all players in an instant. This increases the shiny odds for Pokemon in hideaways from 1 in 4/6 to about half that for a period of 4 minutes. After the 4-minute period is over, the whistle will sound and the counter resets to 0, allowing Diglett and Dugtrio to appear again. And Poké Radar chaining bonuses is interesting. And you will actually know when you have a shiny on your Poké Radar because the glints will be golden. There'll be golden glints in the rustling grass. And yeah, so but the original thing, the shinies in Gen 2 were interesting because they were calculated by DVs. So certain shinies would be better in certain stats by nature. DVs were your equivalent of IVs in Generation 1 and 2. Derived values. IVs are individual values. So DVs were called determinant values. Sorry. On the note of shinies, I have caught in every single gen that has them at least one unboosted shiny.
Wow.
So Gen 2 was a Sentret. In fact, that became the Furret that clowned on Morty.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gen 3 was, if I recall correctly, Gen 3 was a what was it? I remember it was a notable one. I think it was like Gen 3. I forget exactly Gen 3. I think it was like, I want to say a Poochyena, but I'm not sure. Gen 4 was what was Gen 4? It's been a while since a lot of these. I know that my Sun and Moon one was a Yungoos. And I know that my Scarlet Violet one was a Trapinch during when I was going around in the when I was hunting around in the terrarium. Caught a shiny Trapinch there. I actually literally have him on my team. On one of my teams. In Black and White. Oh yeah, Black and White was a Timber. Which I could never trade that. I could never evolve that into a Conch Elder because I could never trust anyone to trade it back to me because it was shiny.
Well, fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, no, I could never trust anyone with
risk.
That would be a humongous risk. No way. But yeah, Gen 5 was, I think I know Gen 6 was actually, I believe it was no, Gen 4 was Gen 4 was a Starly, and that was a Staraptor that cleaned house on the final thing. Staraptor was actually a surprisingly solid Route 1 Pokemon, first route Pokemon.
Yeah, Staraptor's great.
I think it was like XY, I believe was I don't think it was a Fletchling. I don't think it was something else. I want to say I did catch a shiny Fletchling on one of my runs. I'm not sure it was the first one that I caught that was unboosted. But yeah, I've caught at least one shiny, one unboosted shiny in all of the gens that I played.
I think
not
the first
boosted
shiny...
by Monster Method, not boosted by Monster Method, not boosted by Shiny Charm, nothing.
I think the first shiny I ever got was actually when I played Violet on stream a couple years ago, and it was a Hoppip.
Oh, that was that. Jumpluff's pretty good.
Jumpluff's
a good harassment.
It was like one of the first Pokemon I got too. It was crazy.
Yeah. To be fair, they did like cut in half the rates. Cut in half or doubled the rates. You can find them.
It's much easier nowadays.
The Square Sparkles are the Square. Okay, so the above formula can result. Okay, so when they have a range of values, in Generation 3 onwards, they have from Generation 3 onward, but their Pokemon shinies depends on the Pokemon's original trainer number and secret trainer ID number, as well as the Pokemon's personality value. There's a huge calculation with a few Zor values here, where the latter two values represent the highest and lowest bits of the 32 personality value, respectively. The above formula can result in a number ranging from 0 to 65535. Generations 3 to 5, if this result was less than 8, the Pokemon is shiny, giving an overall probability of the same amount of Generation 2. Starting in Generation 4, this threshold will increase to 16, which means the result must be less than 16, effectively doubling the probabilities. In Sword and Shield, if this result equals 0, or if the Pokemon has the Fateful Encounter flag set, then the Pokemon has square shiny sparkles, which means that is a 1 in 65536. That's the rarity of a square sparkle.
Oh, wow.
So the highest odds you could get is Generation 9, I believe. Yeah, Generation 9 in wait, no, actually, it was in without like Poke Radar chaining or anything, just normal stuff, right? With Pokedex Research level 10 and a Pokedex Research level, Pokedex, looking over here, the Dynamax, I'm also not counting any regional gimmicks. The highest you could get is probably would be knocking out 60 Pokemon in a mass outbreak in Gen 9, which would be 1 in 1365. And you could also do in Gen, but yeah, in like Gen, but if we're talking about like before then, the highest you could get, the base rate in Gen 5 was 1 in 1862, 8192. But if you use Masada method, it was a 1 in 1366. With a shiny charm, you would get to 1 in 2 with the shiny charm 2. You would get 1 in 2931. And with but Masada method was also, but yeah, there's also like other things here too. Like Masada method would turn it to Masada method in the more recent gens, like Gen 6 and onwards, would drop it to 1 in 682. That's very low.
Yeah.
Very, very high chance. Very high chance.
Oh my gosh.
That is about the lowest you can get it in like without regional gimmicks. With regional gimmicks, the lowest is of course 1 in 99 with Gen 7 in BDSP.
Oh man, that's crazy.
There was also some interesting in Gen 2, surprisingly, if you breed a shiny Pokemon with the and the offspring is of the opposite gender, it is a 1 in 64 chance.
Oh.
Because of how they have DVs set up. And shinies oftentimes are just alternate palettes that they had, that they just shift the palette over, they shift the palette ID over. Nowadays, however, they're more planning them out. For example, with Meloetta, that's how planned out more. But like, for example, like, shiny, I'm looking, like, when they started planning those out was about, like, I think it was actually about Gen 5 when they started planning that out. When they started, when the design, like, for example, Glaceon and Pichu have a shiny color that's only 2 shades darker or lighter. Caterpie and Smeargle have entirely different strategies, things. But now they're starting to design them intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like shiny Pikachu is just orange. That's not much different from
crazy
from the yellow that they were original. But like, let me see if I can find a good example of a design shiny. Actually, I think I might have one. I think I might. I think Volcarona is actually a good example of a design shiny.
Yeah.
Although I don't like it as much, it is more of a yellow sun rather than a red sun.
I will say one of my favorites. One of my favorite shinies is the original Evolution Trio, because if you line them up, they look like a rainbow.
Yeah.
They form a rainbow, which I think is so fun.
Yeah. But like once we get to like Generation 6 and 7, like for example, Generation 9, Generation 9 shinies, for example, are very much designed.
Oh yeah.
So Meowscarada is shiny locked, well, at least when you get it, but you can't breed for it to be shiny. Its shiny is more paler. It's paler. It's more of like a mintier color, and its flower is purples. Its flowers are purples. That's not like, so yeah. so we've got like so many like different like styles of, there's so many things there. But like once you get to like, if you what do I want to say? I want to say Capsicid, I want to say, or Capsicid and its evolution skill villains, its shinies are very different from what so let me see if I can go to its like its,
hello, welcome
sprites.
to stream. Welcome.
Yeah. Hi Sakuna. But yeah, so its shiny is like very designed specifically where it looks like a different set of it looks like a different stem for peppers, but its heads are unchanged. Maybe they're a little bit brighter, but that's about it. But yeah, it's kind of like for other shinies, and it's like for Relors, for the Relor line, when it comes to Rabska, when you go to its sprites, its shiny changes the like weird thing it's hanging under. I'm not Miku 2.0. No. Hi, my name is Sulphurus Samsara.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I do what? That doesn't sound right.
Oh my gosh. Miku's a long-lost twin.
But yeah, I'm surprised I sound like that to you. I've been Miko. Okay, you know what? I'm fine with that. But yeah, Relor shiny is related to, is like, it's golden and stuff like that. It looks like it's the sun it's carrying instead of it carrying its own sun. Because that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be that. Yeah. Deep voice Miku. We're talking more about just Gen 1 now at this point. We're talking about just Pokemon as a whole. We're talking about shinies at this point though.
Yeah.
How like shinies originally were not designed. They were just +1 or I believe it's +1 to the value of the palette they draw from. And nowadays they're being more designed, closer to designed. So especially in like Gen 5 they started designing. I feel that then in that case, Sakuna, I feel that you would like shiny Meloetta pirouette form.
Oh yeah.
Because that's also kind of similar to her hair color.
It is.
It's Megarine Luca, but also very much Teto as well.
Hmm.
Also, Teto is interesting as a concept because she was originally not a Vocaloid.
Yeah.
She was,
and she's still technically not a Vocaloid. She is,
yep,
what's it
she's
called
still
now?
She's still an Utauloid.
Well, she's Synth V now, or that new
yeah, she started as an
is.
Utauloid.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Also, yeah, that's also a perfect case of like a design shiny. Actually, is Meloetta.
Yeah. The Meloetta shiny is really cool.
Yep, it's got teal. Its blue eyes and hair are more closer to a teal eyes and hair, like Miku's, and its shiny's red eyes and hair are more closer to Teto or Megarine Luca's magenta eyes and hair. So yeah, that is the perfect example of a design shiny, where it's picked and stuff like that. I also like so Superior shiny is also pretty good too. As a result, it's also one of the design shinies. They really started designing the shinies for starters as well.
Yeah.
Even though you could not find a shiny very much. So for example, so shiny Superior is got green lining on the inside of its thing instead of gold, but now its golder is more of a white gold on its like outside leaves, and it's draped in blues, which blues are very much a case of royal colors. Blues and purples were royals.
Yeah.
Because in Rome you needed to find a specific shellfish to grind up to make purples, and lapis was the only way to get blues in in Egypt, and that was saved for royalty for either adornment or dyes or makeup. So you result in like, and the green is a much more vivid, brighter green. It's like almost like a new growth green. So this is like a new rising king instead of like an older like gaudy king. This is a new rising king with a new thing. I will say also, Gen 5 still does run into an issue of God damn it, another firefighting. I do not like the fact that Embor exists. Like Embor is just why did they went 3 firefightings in a row, and Embor is by and large the worst of the bunch. Its shiny is cool though. It's got blue fire. And it's like, and the orange of its flames has now replaced the normal darker orange of its chest. So it's like a more like a peacher brighter, a more peachy orange. And its nose is blue, but its black stays the same. As for Samurott, I believe it's shiny. Let me get sprites, please. Yeah, it's Samurott's shinies is that it changes to like almost like a more like pearlescent shells type. So it's like it's got mother of pearl on it instead of just oyster shells and stuff like that. And for Hisuian Samurott, which because that was a thing, it's normally black wicked black and red like wicked shell stuff on it. Now it looks white, so it looks like a paladin instead, like an inverted thing. Its role has been inverted from a dark knight into a paladin.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like the design stuff. Like Samurott's evolutionary line is designed actually based on the lifespan of a samurai, from the child Oshawott to a young samurai, Dewat to a military commander, Samurott. And each of them are actually based on different cultures to represent the diversity of culture in the Unova region, and as such, the diversity of culture in New York.
Yeah, which I think is so
There's
cool.
a reason why they call the reason why they call New York the melting pot.
Yeah, I love that.
So Superior represents West. I believe it represents Chinese influence. It's based on this. Based on the snake. So it's actually. The false bird of paradise flowers. The former, also known as Strelitzia, and it was named after Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz, which may have assisted Superior's regal design. Snivy Superior and Servine and Superior based on Western culture, specifically mentioning Lady Oscar from the manga series The Rose of Versailles.
Oh my gosh, wait, really? Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That was Ken Sugimori's statement on that. Embor represents Chinese culture. Specifically of Zhang Fei from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Zhang Fei was assassinated by his own subordinates and his head severed and presented the opposing faction, when maybe alluded to Embor's design. His head is separated from the rest of its body by a wreath of fire. It also represents a cape or scarf. It also be based on Zhu Baiji, a pig demon from the Chinese tale Journey to the West. Which, funnily enough, that's what Infernape is also based on, Journey to the West. It's Son Goku / Hanuman. But yeah, Superior is, and also Superior's ability to amplify sunlight within its body may allude to King Louis XIV of France, who famously referred to himself as the Sun King. Its white face may be referenced to the skin whitening fashion possible among European aristocracy. And its body markings represents the acantha leaves motifs that were popularized during the Renaissance. Specifically, the dark green design on its chest represents the fleur de lis, appears to form a fleur de lis, a French insignia commonly found on coats of arms. When you look at a design, there are so much in it. Like, and also, it learns glare as a move, and the basil-like leaves on its body serves as a visual pun, as basilisk and basil both share the same root, basilius meaning king in Greek. Hence why it's very regal. It's superior.
Yeah.
In Japanese, its name is Jalorda, or I'm butchering that, of course, but yeah, Jalorda, or from Ja, snake, and Lord. In In French, it's majestic, which is majesté, majesty, naga, and naja, or naga, and aspic. German, it's serpentes in royal. Korean, it's siaroda, which is from sha, sharp, and snake. Sha is specifically a Middle Eastern king. Mandarin Chinese is junzu. Junzu She. Junzu and She, which is Junzu and monarch and She snake. Cantonese is Guanzhi She. I'm butchering that again. Monarch and snake again, but the same thing. So yeah, you see, like, there are so many, like, there's so many, like, variants of, like, there's so much stuff that, like, even in the name itself, you can see so much of the design and so much what they were going for. And, like, it's just, yeah, it's just so good. Anyway, do you have any more questions you want to wrap up?
Yeah, trying to think. I feel we touched on a lot of different stuff today, which is fun. I always love going on lots of random tangents.
Yeah, this is the one I hyperfixate the most on.
Yeah.
This is one I have a lot of info on.
Oh, yeah. There's so much to talk about with Pokemon, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if there's anything you can think of that you haven't mentioned yet.
Well, one of the things is that if you ever want to catch some smoke, I'm on Pokemon Showdown.
Oh.
So for chat,
oh,
if you want to catch some smoke. But yeah, the only thing I did want to say is that I look to Winds and Waves in the future with cautious optimism.
Honestly, same. Like, I have a good feeling about Winds and Waves.
It's less that I don't have a good feeling, it's that more that I'm like, I saw Zeta A and saw how trash that was. I hope they learn their lesson and start putting effort into it.
Yeah.
And as such, cautious optimism, that's what I'm seeing. I'm hoping that they have learned their lesson, they put their effort into it, and that they're not just gonna pump out another slop. Because I'm gonna be honest, Zeta A is a cash grab and a half. I'm
enjoying it. Like, I'm streaming it currently, and there's aspects that I really love,
fine.
but also there's stuff that's really annoying. I don't
the
like...
graphics are just...
Yeah.
The windows are just flat 2D textures.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
on
not
the
perfect.
Switch 1, we had more shit.
Yeah.
On the Switch 1 in Scarlet and Violet, we had more detailed windows. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It has its flaws.
Yeah, like, it very much looks like a cash grab to me, and I hope they learn their lesson.
Hopefully.
I know that Pokopia has been doing well, but that's also because they've been, like... That was a different studio that did that.
Oh, yeah. Pokopia, I was really surprised. I really want to play. I don't have it yet, but it looks way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
It's Pokemon dipping their toes into the cozy gamer genre.
Yeah.
And I will say they're doing a decent job, but I do not think they're going to convert nearly so much of the audience as they think they will. They might get some, but they won't get all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, cozy gamers stay in their cozy game space.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah. Anyway, it was great having you. If you have any more questions,
it was so much fun.
I can ask them. Do you have any more questions, or do you want me to? Do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, we could go ahead and wrap up, I think. So yeah, do you want
to shout
anything
out?
Still
streaming.
Yeah, I think Vess is still live. So we will probably be raiding.
Anyway, so we can raid into them. However, what I will say is keep an eye on this and possibly my channel in the future, because you might be seeing some more collabs with me.
Oh yeah, that is true.
But also not just on Bab's channel, but others. We might be having a little bit more collabs in the future. You might see some funny. You might see a little exploration of, maybe Yumaniki, maybe Buckshot, maybe we'll see you'll see some Sephiria in the future.
Yeah.
Sephiria's been one that I've been really mainlining a lot recently. In fact, I was playing it before the stream started. They recently did a thing. and Goose, and maybe we'll see some more Goose Goose Duck stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really excited to play Goose Goose Duck again. That was so fun. Why not?
That is so much fun, and also got the extra rolls that we don't have to worry about. And maybe we can we need to grab a lot of people for that though. We want a big stream for that.
Oh yeah.
And also, I did want to mention that maybe if we wanted to go, maybe for October stuff, for Halloween stuff, we could do a secret lab, a SCP secret lab that I was thinking of, because that's a horror game that's also free.
Yeah, love free games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice to be able to yap again. It's been a while since I've been able to just yap Pokemon. I may end up if you want to host some things outside of the Heisei era and maybe talk about like some other like maybe like since you've been like mostly in like the SEA area. I believe you reside in the SEA area, correct? In SEA Japan area, right? You reside in Japan?
I'm not currently. I'm back in the US right now, but in the future I might go back.
Yeah, but you've been to Japan and area and stuff like that, but you've also, I believe, been to Korea as well?
Yeah, I lived in Korea for a little bit too.
Yeah, so maybe we could talk, maybe you could do some podcast stuff about like Korean stuff and stuff like that, not just about the Heisei era.
That would be fun,
Yeah, I would love to be able to talk about Olympus Company and Project Moon in general.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, anyway. It's been nice being here, and we definitely should be raiding into them before we yap too much longer.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Talk to you again soon.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, that's going to be that for today's stream. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. Also, I'm like, I don't know if Mistrunner is watching stream right now. Hopefully he wasn't, because I want to be like, I have a cool thing to show you. I'm gonna try and show the Meloetta thing in Violet. So hopefully Mist is not in chat right now, and you don't hear this. And even if you do, I'm still gonna make you do it. It's cool. I want to see the Meloetta in Violet. But yeah, this is where we're gonna wrap up for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening to us yap about Pokemon. My next stream is going to be... What day is it? Today's Saturday. Yes, okay. My next stream is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. Finally getting back into, Why is my brain buffering? Yes, we're getting back to Danganronpa. We're playing Danganronpa tomorrow. Gonna finally start Chapter 5. Honestly, it might also be in a collab tomorrow at around 1 p.m. EST. Doing some Pokemon Showdown. I don't really know exactly what's going to be happening, but it's going to be on Great Man Gray and Yellow's channel. A bunch of people are going to be doing Pokemon Showdown. I may be joining. So that'll be fun. I'll put in Discord when it happens. Yeah, with all that out of the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. If you're watching me on Twitch, make sure you're following, and also subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to. And yeah, I will see you guys again very, very soon. Let's see, I think Vest should still be alive. We're gonna raid them. They're playing Monster Prom? Monster Con. Okay, they're doing Monster Con right now. That's a fun one. I haven't played any of those games. I need to. I've been told I have to play these games at some point. But Vess is playing it right now with Slug. So we're gonna raid and see what kind of utter nonsense is going on in that game right now. And yeah, I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Have a lovely rest of your day or night. Bye bye. Bye bye.